Did you know? The original Pokemon games contain data for an unused town. The name of the town and its proper location can't be found, and it simply shows up in a default position above the Indigo Plateau with the title Pallet Town. There's also unused music in Pokemon Red and Blue. The music has been speculated to belong to the unused town data, but it's also possible the music was used to test the game's audio engine early in development. There's another unused music track, this time in Pokemon Yellow. The track is likely connected to an unused battle system that can be found in Pokemon Yellow's game data, but it also resembles a track from another Game Freak game called Bushi Seryuden Futari no Yusha. The unused system displays the text, "Hurry, get away," if the player attempts to select any menu option besides run, giving the player no option but to flee from battle. It's thought that this system would also have been used for whenever the player went into a battle without a Pokemon. This also suggests that the player could have originally encountered wild Pokemon outside of Pallet Town before they were given a Pikachu. There's also an unused move entry for a hidden machine, or HM, in the code of the original games. The entry sits between the HM's Fly and Surf. In the Japanese Pokemon Red, there's text that translates to "ground rose up somewhere." The text is stored next to the message that displays when the player uses the Strength HM in the game's overworld and is formatted in a similar way. Based on this, it seems likely the games originally had a 6th HM that somehow manipulated the ground. There's also an unused Pokemon type in the original games called Bird type. The type has no strengths or weaknesses against any other Pokemon and can be displayed in the stats of the glitch Pokemon such as Missing No. Some leftovers, including the Bird type, are still in the code of Pokemon Gold and Silver. One piece of hidden content in Pokemon Gold is actually right on the title screen. By using a glitch to alter the way the game's palettes are loaded, it's possible to see that Ho-Oh is actually not a silhouette, but a full-color sprite. The sprite itself is unrefined. This suggests that the idea to have full-color Pokemon on the title screen was scrapped fairly quickly. Lugia's title screen sprite in Silver backs this up, as it's just a silhouette with no color. In an early version of Pokemon Gold and Silver shown at Nintendo's Space World event in 1997, the game's starting town wasn't New Bark Town. It was a completely different town named Silent Hills. It's thought that the name was at least changed to avoid comparisons to the horror game Silent Hill, which was released during Gold and Silver's development period. Another strange change is that the Lake of Rage was a full town, and even had a gym. The lake remained an important part of the game, and this original town classification is possibly why you can still fly to the location on the world map. Several areas in the Kanto region were at one point planned to be in Gold and Silver. The Safari Zone was planned to make a return, as were Pewter City Museum and the Cinnabar Island Laboratory. There have been many changes during the localization of Pokemon games over the years. Although a lot of these changes were due to censorship from Nintendo of America, some of the changes were made erroneously by mistranslating the source material or reworking something because it didn't make sense to those who didn't have a thorough understanding of Japanese culture. The move Thunder was inaccurately translated. The Japanese name for the move, Kaminari, can be interpreted as either thunder or lightning. Because the animation for the move shows a lightning bolt, the Japanese name was most likely referring to lightning and not thunder. A similar situation occurred with the move Thunder Punch, although the translators didn't have much of a choice this time. Pokemon moves could only be 12 characters long, so calling the move Lightning Punch was out of the question. The move Splash was also mistranslated. The move's Japanese name is Haneru, which can mean both Splash and Hop. In this case, the move is meant to be called Hop, which explains why Splash is a normal type move and not water type. Pokemon like Hoppip can use Splash. His Japanese name, Haneko, even shares the same root as the Japanese word for hop. The move Night Slash is called Crossroad Killing in the Japanese games. The English name is still relatable to the meaning behind the Japanese name, but it's nowhere near specific. Crossroad Killing refers to a method in which some of the more morally corrupt samurai would test their swords in feudal Japan. In this method, known as Sujigiri, a samurai would hide at a crossroad waiting for an unsuspecting commoner to pass by. They would then test the sword by attacking the commoner with the intent to kill. One renaming of a move actually seems to make a lot of sense. The move Soft Boiled was originally called Egg Lay in the Japanese games, even though it could be learned and performed by male Pokemon. The Pokedex entries of certain Pokemon have also been altered in the English games. Several Pokedex entries for the Pokemon Drifloon suggest that it tries to steal children away, saying things like, "It is whispered that any child who mistakes Drifloon for a balloon and holds onto it could wind up missing." However, Drifloon's Japanese Pokedex entry in Pokemon Pearl specifically mentions that it takes children to the world of the dead. This disturbing fact did make its way into the English speakers, but not to the core franchise Pokemon games. In the North American version of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Drifloon's trophy information states that it tries to drag children into the underworld by their hands. That's all for today, but if you'd like to hear more creepy facts, click on that Pokeball to jump over to my video, the top 10 creepiest things in Pokemon. Don't forget to also subscribe to DidYouKnowGaming and follow DidYouKnowGaming on Facebook and Twitter.